Yeah, I'm laying in bed. I've just come out of hospital, by the way. That's why I look so rough and I can't bother to do anything to make myself look pretty. Um, I just want to reflect on a year ago. Um, this time last year, I was just coming home from work. When I got home, my husband at the time was extremely drunk with his 12-year-old son on his lap, which was very unusual because unless I'd prompted it, they never spent much time together unless it was like on a computer game. His son Jerry, who I love very, very much and I miss very, very much. Great kid, as all kids can be a bit of a pain in the butt, but he's great. He was a great kid. I looked after him, was it 2-3 years? And he lived with us. He's the reason I probably stopped in the marriage as long as I did and took the amount of abuse, or no, I took the amount of arguments and made a lot of excuses, whether the excuses were for myself or for my ex-husband, or soon to be ex-husband. So a year ago I come home from work and I say to my ex-husband, or my husband at the time, I don't want to argue. We'd been arguing for 3 days and it was a Wednesday. Was it Wednesday or Tuesday? Don't know, can't remember now. Anyway, we'd been arguing and I just didn't want to argue anymore, and I said to him, I'm going to clean the Ribena off the walls, because he'd thrown ice cold Ribena over my head the night before, and at the time I was just so upset I didn't clean it up, which is a bit minging, but hey. And I just ran away. Oh, someone loves me. So I'm going to clean the Ribena, go upstairs and go to sleep. I'm tired and I don't want to argue. I'm not going to repeat the things that Stuart said, but they were horrid. Not something a 12-year-old lad should hear, let alone what happened next. All in all, resulting in Stuart being arrested. And I had to make the hardest decision of my life. Give up someone that I love for the best, or potentially hold on and risk ruining the rest of his life. I sent Jerry home to be with his mum in a better environment. And I haven't seen him since. It's been a year. And that's a bit shit. My ex-husband's been not got the divorce yet, but he has been an absolute nightmare. It took me another 2-3 months before I got away from him, and I think back to my life a year ago and I just go, why the hell was I in there? What was I thinking? Because I look at myself now and I'm settled where I'm living. I've got a really nice new boyfriend and it's fantastic. We see each other 2-3 times a week. We are just best friends, and he's just a best friend that I kiss. We talk about cars, and you know what? He's been fantastic with me being ill and going into hospital the last week or so. Absolutely fantastic. And the big thing is, we don't argue. I thought it was normal to argue. People say, oh, it's healthy to have an argument. Well, yeah, it may be, but the arguments I'm used to having, they're not healthy, they're horrid. So yeah, it is really nice, and I've got my car, and the only thing I need to sort out is I'm sorting out my health, but it'll take time. But to anyone who's in a domestic violence situation or is struggling to deal with anything, you can do it. Because I remember running back on the 13th of May last year, the next morning, after he'd been arrested and he'd done what he'd done, and I ran back to him because I was too scared to do it on my own. I was too scared that he would come after me. He'd put the fear of God in me. If he'd told me to do something that was against my principles, I probably would have done it. I was that scared of him. And I didn't think I'd cope. Even after I'd moved out of the family home and all the rest of it, I didn't think I was going to cope. And there's no way I could imagine that I'd be as happy as I am now. Not at all. But it gets easier. And no, you don't ever forget something you've been through. I don't forget not basically turning around to my stepson and going, I can't see you anymore, see you later. And the hardest thing for me was he had no clue that was it, the last time he was going to see me. I knew that was probably the last time I'd see him until he was older. Bless him, he had no clue. And he's not allowed contact with me, not because anybody in particular says so, apart from his father, so fair enough. But his father's not supposed to have contact either. Yet somehow he has, but I don't know. It's not my place anymore, and that's a whole different issue. But what I'm probably trying to say with this video is that I do still think of Jerry. I still think of him very, very fondly, and he is the positive part of a very negative marriage. And I think that's something Michael's really taught me, is always look at the fun side, the positive thing. He is very fun to be around. Even when he's saying, oh, I don't look like Kate Moss, or the only reason why he likes me is because I like cars. He is so honest and so genuine and so fun that I'd sooner he said I'm never going to be a Kate Moss. At least I know where I stand. And he's right, I'm never going to be Kate Moss. I don't think I'd want to be, but I do want my health. And that's why I'm trying to just lose a little bit, just so I can get my health. But yeah, so this video is just for Jerry, and I miss you, kiddo. You never know, because it's on YouTube. You might see it. I can't find my phone now. Don't know who texted me. Right, I'm gonna go because I'm gonna look for my phone. But Mr. Little Jerry Wayne, if you see this, I love you, kiddo. Always have, always will.